So I'm going to throw one back at you. Is it too Northern Soul? Does it feel like a pastiche to you?
I'm going to take what you've just thrown at me, and I'm going to direct it straight to Hope, because my concern is it sort of, it's obviously very influenced by Motown and all that stuff, but is it too, as Dan says, is it too much like, you know, they've obviously worked so hard to get that traditional sound, does it all just feel like some strange, pastiche?
There is all in the past, but it's good. I like it. Sometimes being in the past is good. I have a big fetish about Motown, actually. I would really like to see them do, you know, like they did Wizard of Oz. I'd like to see them do A Christmas Carol. It's a shame that Barry White's dead now, because he would have made a great ghost of Christmas present.
Oh, you mean all the kind of the sort of Motown icons doing
and then
a version
doing
of
songs.
Christmas Carol?
Yeah, I thought that would be great.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it just made me think of that for some reason. That's what happens when you have kids.
But a lot,
a bit obscure. So yeah, but no, I really liked it. I thought it was good. It was kind of old school, but that's not such a bad thing. It gets to a certain point where everything sounds like something else, doesn't it? You know? It's hard to be original.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's why this show's increasingly sounding like Steve Wright. Nothing wrong with that. It's a great show. Round of applause for Steve Wright. Harry, I imagine it's not the sort of thing that that would tickle you.
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. My problem is, it's probably too good at what it's doing, and it's going to end up on adverts selling ice cream, you know, for the rest of the summer.
Point,
That's my problem. I think it's going to. It's either going to do nothing, or it's going to be everywhere, at which point I'll turn around and go, no, I hate it now.
Sure. Okay, well, is that something that's going to also impact on you, Ruth?
Well, in the world of my head, Steve, this this song is the theme tune of a children's television programme at 4 o'clock in the afternoon about Nicole and her soul investigator.
right.
And because it reminded me of like the Red Hand Gang or something. There was a sense of a lot of people running around solving crimes, having adventures, and this is their theme tune, and they run down streets pretending their hands are guns.
Yeah.
And this is the music playing in the background the whole time. I loved it, though. I'm a sucker for this sort of Motown pastiche stuff.
Well, let's see if you're also as big a fan of this final tune. We've been digging stuff out of the pigeonhole, and here's a forthcoming single from The Enemy, or is it already available? I'm not sure. Again, I couldn't find the information. I was not well supplied with information this week, guys. But anyway, it's The Enemy, and here's the track, Had Enough. Released in June, The Enemy and Had Enough, Steve Shea, BBC Six Music. Rufus, you've only heard it once, but have you already had enough?
Yeah, I can see that. I think, yeah, we saw that link coming. Yeah, I'm not excited. Everyone sounds like Julian Cope to me at the moment. Everyone is sounding like Julian Cope. He's kind of the advancing army of him coming towards me. But no huge excitement for me, that song, but I like the vocal track.
See, I quite liked it. I thought it had a kind of a nice joie de vivre. What are your thoughts, Hope?
I thought it was slightly bland. Heard it all before. Sorry, it's a bit bland.
You're taking no prisoners.
No, sorry. I'm a bit of a music fascist, really, and you hear it all the time, don't you? In the moment, there seems to be this kind of indie rock thing going on that I've just heard. I want something different now.
What would that new thing be? You've already come up with the perfect Motown movie, Christmas movie. What are you expecting from music?
I don't know. I'm really into ukuleles at the moment, actually.
Are you?
I think there should be some uke stuff going on, some crazy...
Some classic Formby, some great George Formby re-released.
That would be quite good. We still play George Formby quite a lot when
we
DJ.
Yeah.
I like my head then in my house.
It's extraordinary to think about George Formby being quite as big a star as he was, you know, because he was quite an odd-looking guy, and just played, I think, the same tune and just sang different words, normally like window cleaners or the like, and this alone was enough to make him a national superstar. It's wonderful. Really.
Things were different then, though, weren't they?
They were simpler times.
Yeah.
We're so old. What other shows on Six Music are discussing George Formby? That'll make it into the press. Merchant slams Formby. Harry, you love rock and stuff like that. Did you enjoy The Enemy?
That's a very insightful point. It was quite bland, wasn't it? It started off quite exciting. I thought it was going to be a bit hot heaty, but it wasn't. It just really petered away. According to Wikipedia, and I'm assuming it's true, apparently Warner's have signed them up for 1.7 million.
Ooh.
That's ridiculous. That's a huge amount of money for something that was, really quite average, I thought.
Dan.
Yes.
Do you share that view?
Well, if they've got 1.7 million knocking around, they can't spend all of that. So I'm going to say it was brilliant. And for a small fee, I will champion The Enemy at every single opportunity. In reality, I tried to like it. I like the energy, but it didn't quite have a unique selling point for me, I'm afraid.
I'm finding it hard to take your opinion seriously because you are being made to wear a fez.
That's true.
And if you just joined us, this is Steve Shaw. I've been to
I'm
Morocco.
wearing
I brought
a
back a
fez.
fez and I've forced Dan to wear it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of bullying, but it's
Yeah.
also because I am, of course, your landlord.
Yeah.
So by rights, I should be allowed to do anything I want to you.
I don't believe that's actually written down anywhere, no. But,
No, but if you remember, we don't have a contract. We've only
no.
got a handshake.
No. Well, in that case, surely I could just take off the fez and you've got no legal recourse. I can get away with what
I
I
like to
like.
think of myself as, what's his name, kind of Von Hoogstraten.
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
yeah.
He's a
Don't
nasty
mention
piece of
it.
work.
He'll
yeah.
come after
Yeah.
us.
He will. Yeah, but I quite like, I've been trying to persuade Dan to allow me to have a large neon sign up in his room, which is the amount he owes me in rent for the year.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's just there. And if he allows me to do certain things for my own amusement, like just sort of while he's just asleep, you know, he's got an early start the next day, and I'm just allowed to hide in his cupboard without him knowing, and then just middle of the night, just leap out and terrify him, just jump on the bed screaming, possibly nude, right? If he allows me to do that, it's just whenever I choose, as on a whim, then he'll, on the ticket, on the big show, the overhead neon sign, some of the money will come off. It will just, you know, so slowly, theoretically, if you kept indulging my whims, by the end of the year, you'd have to pay nothing. He's so far not gone for it.
Yeah, I have considered it though, which says a lot about me. You know? And maybe some of the ideas that you've come up with aren't entirely unpleasant, but at the moment, I prefer the straightforward money transaction, live-in house situation that we have. I quite like that, not the mental, physical assault, random terror.
Rather like Nicholas van Hoogstraten, maybe Steve should spend a few years building a giant mausoleum for himself. And if Dan he built this colossal kind of neoclassical mausoleum, it was mausoleum every weekend. You could just again chip off a few pounds from the rent.
Yeah,
Dan, been down the been tempted to do a bit of legwork.
I could probably do that. I'd be up for that. Yeah, would I have to wear the fez?
Almost really. I'm thinking of perhaps a different novelty hat every week on the studio. Also, I was thinking, you mentioned that, the grand image. I wonder if there's any artists out there. I know you are an artist, Rufus, but you may be a very busy man. I want someone to paint a portrait of me, astride a horse that's rearing up. Perhaps I'm in full military regalia.
We've talked of this. It's
Yeah.
a Kirikov-style portrait. I'm on. Yeah.
Are you up for that?
yeah.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah, that would just perhaps above my bed. You know, if I'm lucky enough to woo a lady, she just can see me there astride a horse. I don't know why that should be erotic. I just imagine it would be. Years ago, it was the turn on for ladies. After we've got playing the trial, is that right? Yeah, but it's the top of the hour, is it? Well, it's not even the top of the hour anymore. It's a waste of time. It's 10 past.
Still got to play it.
All right, go on then. I Can't Believe You're Gone by the Webb Brothers from the album Maroon. They are, of course, sons of the legendary songwriter Jimmy Webb, who did Wichita Lineman. And by the time I get to Phoenix, and I don't know what's happening with the Webb Brothers at the moment, I quite enjoyed that album, and I've heard Hiding the Hair from them. So if you're one of the Webbies, get in touch, 64046. I know you're probably based in America, but who knows? Use the Listen Again feature, for God's sake.
I think they do.
I would hope so.
Steve, we've had an email from, well, you know Jamie Spall.
Jamie?
Yeah.
Oh, Spool?
Yeah,
What,
Spally. The Spallster. Well, he's got in touch because he wants us to play LA Woman by the Doors. Now, basically, he was out last night, got a bit drunk, met this American girl, and told her that he's best mates with you. You know, he's a good lad. You know, we all do that. And she loves The Office, and he said that he'd have a word with you and get this song by the Doors played. He's meeting her in a couple of hours. Can we help him out? Now, we've done a lot for the Spallster in the past because he's a good lad.
Oh,
So,
What a guy.
yeah.
hang on, wait, I'm confused. So is he listening to the show with her?
Well, I guess that's going to happen somehow. It's the Listen Again feature, isn't it? You can go, I had a word with Steve while we're out having a lovely pub lunch, you know. He's played your song for you, go and listen back.
I'll tell you what, because we don't really have time to play LA Woman, but what if I'll just back announce it like I've just played it, and then he can kind of record that and perhaps play it to her on his mobile phone or something, or he could just find that exact moment on the Listen Again feature.
For my old mate Jamie.
Yeah,
The
alright,
Spallster. Yeah.
Okay, well we'll go for it now.
Okay.
Oh, an absolute gem there from The Doors, LA Woman, absolute classic. I play that, of course, from one of my Beza mates, Jamie. I know he's been out and about of late, getting a little bit randy with the ladies, you old dog. And, good luck with that. Maybe you've met an LA woman of your own. I don't know.
Brilliant.
But good. Let's hook up soon, man. All the best. Give us a call. I haven't seen you for a while. Anyway, that'll work perfectly. Anyway, really what you should have done is, of course, go through the formal channels, which is to go to the website, www.bbc.co.uk/6music, and then you can log there your song requests, as this person has done. She's on the phone. What is your name?
Hello, I'm Danielle.
Hello, Danielle. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Brighton.
Brighton, lovely. I was there very recently. Is it sunny?
It's not too bad today, actually. It's gone a bit grey, but it was sunny earlier.
What do you do? I don't know why everyone feels the need to ask what the weather's like. It's the opening gambit for any Brit, isn't it? I imagine that, Rufus, you're super posh. I imagine it's almost kind of written into poshness, British poshness, isn't it, to talk about the weather very briefly?
You can keep it going for half an hour if you're really posh. Just talk of nothing else, and then once someone starts talking about emotion, well, it usually goes from weather to the illnesses and stuff like that.
Sure.
But then you can get a long way by postponing any sort of real mention of conversation or emotion.
Sure. Yeah. Danielle, tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you doing? What's the most interesting thing that happened to you this week?
It's
tricky, isn't it?
a difficult one.
Yeah. Nothing? Life empty like mine?
This weekend I went to the Great Escape Festival.
Okay, right. Did you see any interesting bands?
I didn't see anyone new, really, sadly. I'm quite boring like that.
Sure. You just stuck with all the old...
Friendly Fires, actually. They were good.
Who, sorry?
Friendly Fire.
Friendly Fire, okay.
And yeah, some other people like the Rakes and stuff.
Did you buy anything from a stall? Did you buy anything from a stall at all? Is there stalls at that event?
No, I don't know.
Did you get, was the weather alright there?
It was actually.
I'm terrible at making conversation. I'm making chit-chat with strangers.
There.
I got nothing, Daniel. What do you do for a living?
I'm currently at college doing my A-levels.
I knew it. We've got so many student listeners, haven't we? Yeah. And do you use the listening in feature?
Yes.
Do you?
I do.
Apparently we're second only to Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Which I can go to my grave with, as you were mentioning yesterday, Rufus, I can actually have that on my second only to Bob Dylan. It's extraordinary. Brackets in terms of listen again downloads via the BBC website.
Month, March to April 07.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Still not up with Coldplay on the MySpace.
Sadly not. And Danielle, what's your sort of general life about? What's interesting about it? Is it good? What are you studying?
It's quite boring, really.
Yeah.
I'm doing chemistry and English and photography.
Ooh, quite the brainiac.
Huh?
Quite the brainiac.
Not really.
No, you're going to fail?
I say I do chemistry because, well, no, I do chemistry, but that's to probably make me sound like a brainiac, but I'm not really. I just pretend.
Danielle, you have chosen a tune for me.
Yes, I have.
Please explain something about it.
It's by the Deers, and it's called You and I Are a Gang of Losers, and it's a lovely little tune, actually.
You've sold it to me. That alone has sold it to me. It's a lovely little tune, actually. Let's hear it. I will give you my opinion afterwards. Let's hear it.
Okay.
You and I Are a Gang of Losers by the Deers, the choice of our listener, Danielle. Danielle, I've enjoyed that very much.
Oh, good.
Thank
I'm glad
you.
to hear it.
Yes, did you enjoy it?
I did. I was having a little sing-along there.
Were you? Oh, that's sweet. Danielle, we have one of our SheJ nominees here in the studio. I'm going to let you have a brief chat with her because you probably want to discuss makeup or something.
Childbirth.
Yes, exactly. Danielle, meet our SheJ.
Hello, Danielle. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Actually, surrounded by boys, which is always a good thing. Obviously, Jude's included. Sorry, Jude. All the boys are on this side, see. So, but yeah, do you like being called Daniel or Not Daniel. You don't like being called Daniel. Do you like being called Daniel or Danny or Dan?
Anything.
Anything.
I don't really mind.
Sweetie.
Yeah.
Is that good? Treacle. I like calling people treacle. It's good. Yeah. So, what was you doing at college again?
Chemistry, English, and photography.
So, how's the photography coming on?
It's actually all done now. I say I'm doing it, but it's done. Just finished it last week.
Was it like just a little module, or was it a whole?
No, well, I've done the two-year A-level course,
Right,
but
guys.
it just finished.
At last, us lads have got an insight into what women talk about when there's no blokes present. And it's almost as interesting as when blokes get together. Amazing, isn't it? That was fascinating. I thought it would be much more erotically charged for
Well, I
some
was
reason.
building up to it. I was going to ask
I
what
was
sort of
disappointed.
photos, you know.
I just didn't know if we had time. You see, I was interested. No, not necessarily. Well, I say erotically charged. I just mean maybe they're. I don't know what I mean really by that. But no, it was interesting. It was a fascinating insight there into when two women.
Well, what I was going to ask, Daniel, was do you do portraiture?
Yeah, a bit.
Because Stephen wants a painting done of him on a horse, and you could do it in a photo instead of a painting.
But then I'd have to actually get on a horse and have it rear up. That's
well,
really quite
digital cameras, you know, you could.
Trickery.
Yeah.
clever.
Yeah, try and Photoshop it around or something. You never know.
All right, listen, guys, we're going to work on that idea.